against Bitcoin.
It's going up forever.
You're against Bitcoin, you're against freedom.
Yeah, welcome to another episode of Simply Bitcoin Live. We're your number one source for the peaceful Bitcoin revolution. Code breaking news, culture, dramatic warfare. We will be your guide through the separation of audio and state. Oh my God, Opti was texting me. Okay, guys, I had the wrong mic. Welcome, guys. Welcome to another episode of Simply Bitcoin. I do want to make an announcement at the very top of the show. Yesterday, I sent in my resignation letter to Swan. I am no longer with the company. That being said, Swan is an amazing Bitcoin company with amazing Bitcoiners. Corey is one of the best entrepreneurs I've met in my life. He's an extremely talented individual. He is able to bring together teams in a way that I've really never seen before. And so many talented people at Swan, so many people to name. The PB team is amazing. The media team is amazing. The sales team is amazing. It's a great company. It was time for me to, I'm an entrepreneur at heart, and it was time for me to focus solely on Simply. And I love making content, and that's what it's about. So yeah, it is, it's a bit of a step, but I am following my heart. I've tended to do that all my life. I think the best is yet to come. So we'll see what happens, but one thing's for sure, we will be making content for you guys. Anyways, today we are going to talk about a very interesting topic, which is we've talked about this, right? Which is the theory from the sovereign individual that the option for people to choose alternative money was going to empower individuals, and the way that individuals get empowered by this new power is they have the ability to vote with their feet. So what's happening in the US is very interesting, because on the federal level, you have bills that were introduced by Senator like Elizabeth Warren, for example, and she's basically, that bill, if it gets passed, it would be an effective ban on self-custody in the United States, and it would also be it'd kill Bitcoin mining. It would essentially kill the industry, and it's on purpose. She's gotten 20 senators to sign up to this, bipartisan. She's gotten Republicans, she's gotten Democrats. But on the state level, it's pretty interesting, because the individual states are stepping up and they're passing laws to protect the right to self-custody. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Dennis Porter and the Satoshi Action Fund has actually done an incredible job really pushing this forward. So we have a representative from the state of Missouri. He's introducing a bill called the Digital Bill of Rights. I have no idea if it's going to pass. Also, you have the state of Wyoming. You have the state of Florida, for example. Florida is really interesting because Governor Ron DeSantis, who's also running for president, by the way, passed a law in Florida that would make it illegal for CBDCs, for central bank digital currencies. So what I could see playing out in the US is a very interesting situation where I don't put this on a high likelihood or high probability, but let's say that they make Bitcoin illegal on a federal level. Potentially on a state level, it could remain legal. And what it reminds me of is like the marijuana industry, right? And the marijuana industry is really interesting because it's like California, marijuana is legal, but on federal level, it's illegal, right? So there's a marijuana industry like flourishing in California and all these US states, but on the federal level, it's still looked down upon, right? So it's very interesting how the US works like that. And I think that individual states have more to gain from a Bitcoin standard. So we are going to talk about that. It's a really interesting topic. And then on another note, new U.S. tax reporting rules require an IRS report for every $10,000 transaction. And this, of course, it applies to Bitcoin and crypto. And it's interesting because what they're doing is that they're putting onto the Bitcoin, onto Bitcoin, the same laws for the Bank Secrecy Act. So they passed this in the 1970s. If you adjust $10,000 for inflation. And when this in the 70s, when they passed this law, it was like the equivalent to like $80,000 today. So a lot of people just looked by the side. It's like, it's not important. The amount remained the same, but inflation did its thing. That amount just stays, right? So from now moving forward, basically every transaction over $10,000, you have to report it to the IRS. You have to put in the person's name, the person's address, I think the social security number as well. It's pretty crazy, to be honest with you. So anyways, it's going to be a great show. Also, we're going to talk about multi-sig with Opti. And Opti is very serious today. He's wearing a suit. How you doing, Optimus? How you doing, Optimus Fields?
I am doing Mr. Optimus Fields, Nico. Yeah, you know, my dad keeps kind of low-key trolling me and telling me if I wear, you know, a button-up and look presentable on this show, maybe people would take me more seriously. So I figured, what better day than today to, you know, look good. Your boy can clean up a little bit. But yeah, man, what crazy stuff. And it's really interesting how this news, both of these news, I mean, one of them hit yesterday, and then the tax reporting news that came out earlier this week really kind of got swept under the rug all week because of all the hype around the ETF. And man, it's, I would say, very egregious, you know, using big words today. And it's man, it just goes to show that they are clamping down on control right now, is because they have lost that control, in my opinion, and they're figuring out any way possible to try to, you know, put the little man back in the box, because they're realizing that, hey man, things can start to get real crazy if we don't, you know, hammer people back into their place. So interesting times. Obviously, we are in the then they fight you stage, and we've been talking about the fact that, you know, if we can't even have freedom of speech, what makes us think that we're going to have freedom to transact? And we're seeing more and more. I don't have a tie, why? I literally said if I had a tie, I would wear one, but I don't have one.
Oh man, dude, you gotta wear this suit more often, because the
I lost my train of thought.
The comments are popping off, bro. Opti's blushing.
I lost my train of thought. I don't remember what I was saying. Thank you guys.
Opti, this comment.
Formal Fridays.
Narwhal Tacos, Opti setting the trend for formal Fridays in Bitcoin. Okay, formal Fridays.
No, usually it's casual Fridays. Come on.
I'm underdressed. Fuck, Opti, you're making me feel underdressed.
I might have to buy a tie now. You know, suits. We got to wear suits, bro, to be presentable in Bitcoin. Apparently. No, shouts out to my dad. He's a boomer, and he swears that if I stop wearing hoodies, maybe people would take us seriously. And I don't know. I just, you know,
you gotta send this episode to your dad.
Shout out to my family.
You gotta send this episode to your dad,
yeah,
bro. You're making your dad proud right now.
XS, this isn't even a jacket. This is like a wool overcoat. It is oversized a little bit on purpose. Yeah, I don't even have. Guys, I legitimately don't even own a suit, so I'm just kind of trolling right now, you know. But shout out to my dad. I look kind of presentable.
Yeah, I mean, I think you look very fucking.
Wait, dressed up for the meme review. Shouldn't have.
Oh yeah, that's right. We're doing the fucking meme review.
Yeah, I got the memes. Memes, guys. I got the memes.
Oh man, yeah, dude. I'm really excited. This is gonna be a great show. We gotta finish Friday strong. All right, let's go, everybody. Let's start the show. Here we go.
The Bitcoin numbers.
Is your Bitcoin in cold storage really secure? Is your seed phrase really secure? Stamp Seed's do-it-yourself kit has everything you need to hammer your seed words into commercial-grade titanium plates instead of just writing them on paper. Don't store your generational wealth on paper. Paper is prone to water damage, fire damage. You want to put your generational wealth on one of the strongest metals on planet Earth, titanium. Your words are actually stamped into this metal plate with this hammer and these letter stamps. And once your words are in, they aren't going anywhere. No risk of the plate breaking apart and pieces falling everywhere. Titanium stamped seeds will survive nearly triple the heat produced by a house fire. They're also crush-proof, waterproof, non-corrosive, and time-proof. All things that paper is not, allowing you to hodl your Bitcoin with peace of mind for the long haul. Stamp your seed on Stamp Seed.
All right, everybody. I also do want to make it easy for you guys because I want to do that. You can scan the QR code on your screen right now. It will take you directly to the Stamp Seed website. You can use promo code SIMPLY to get 15% off. Store your generational wealth on titanium, one of the strongest metals on planet Earth. Don't store it on paper. Don't be that type of person. Store it on titanium. So scan the QR code and use promo code SIMPLY to get 15% off. At the time of recording, the Bitcoin price is 43,460 sats per dollar. 2,301 market cap, 851 billion. Decline from all-time high, 37%. Days since all-time high, 785. Bitcoin versus gold market cap, 6.23%. Supply percentage in corporate treasuries, 8.7%. Total Lightning Network capacity, 4,959. Bitcoin block height, 824,502. Those are the Bitcoin stats overall. It's good numbers today. Anyways, dude, this is crazy. If you guys have been in Bitcoin for a while, dude and dudettes, right? We gotta be inclusive here, Opti, with our language. Hey, look, I gotta wear a fucking suit, bro. What is this?
Apparently, I gotta iron my shirt and get a fitting.
Let's just make you full
No,
screen.
dude, don't embarrass me. I guess my shirt's not ironed. Everyone's looking at all the details today.
You're gonna do the show, just full screen the entire show. Opti, all right, you're a newscaster.
Hello, guys. Welcome to Simply Bitcoin.
Wait, hold on a second. Where is there we go. All right, do it again.
Hello, guys. Welcome to Simply Bitcoin. It is Friday.
There's breaking news, bro.
January 5th, and we have a breaking news story. Chrissy dumped me today.
Okay.
Now they're not gonna take it seriously, anyways.
Back to the signal. Back to the content. Okay. So here's CK. CK is an absolute legend, and he is retweeting a video or tweeting a video from Bitcoin Magazine, and he says, mainstream media educating people about the Bitcoin halving. We are still early. No one is bullish enough. Let's check it out.
Hey, David, good morning. So Bitcoin's new bull run is being driven by two upcoming events. First, there's this hope for an ETF approval, and then something called the halving that's coming up in April. It's up 65% or so in the past 3 months. ETF, that is a big driver, guys, of this price action. The SEC has a January 10th deadline to approve or reject the ARK 21 shares ETF. That's Kathy Wood's proposal there. Reuters reporting that the SEC could notify issuers as soon as this week if they've been cleared to launch those ETFs. If approved, guys, this would be a publicly traded fund tracking the price of Bitcoin. So investors theoretically wouldn't need to go to a crypto exchange or hold Bitcoin directly themselves. So it may lower the barrier to entry here. Because of that, some are arguing it's going to bring in a wider range of investors and then potentially more institutional interest. Then you've got something called the Bitcoin halving. That's coming up in April. The key thing to know about that, Bitcoin's new issuance gets cut in half. So it's a way
I think it's repeating itself. But the thing that's really fascinating, first of all, like Opti could have done that job in a suit.
What are you saying about me?
Okay. Because it was so professional. Like she's really good at her job. You know, like
agreed. Thank you. Appreciate it.
The thing, like the signal there, like the thing that's really interesting is like it's like there's something called the halving, and it's like coming up, and apparently it's like a big deal, which is like absolutely hilarious. I'm predicting it right effing now. 4 years from now, I think the financial world is gonna start like incorporating the halving into predictions and like into finance and like those types of like CNBC like pieces. They're gonna start talking about the halving because it's gonna have. I mean, people are saying that it's not gonna have such a significance, you know, because it's not as big as Bitcoin supply. I'm a big halving believer. I think it's like a big deal. It literally cuts the sell pressure by half. You have to understand that these massive miners, they are selling a percentage of that Bitcoin to pay for expenses. The halving literally like 100% makes it so that sell pressure literally gets cut in half, right? Because there's literally half the amount of Bitcoin that's being mined, that's being dumped on the market. And I really believe that like that's what causes the price to go up. I've gotten shit for this in the past. People have disagreed with me. People are a lot more, you know, they're more technical and they're like, they get into the thing. I just think of the bell curve, right? The American HODL bell curve that we went through yesterday. And it's like, look, what was the meme about it yesterday? Opti, I forget.
I forget it. It
Okay.
was like the three. Is it the 3 green, 1 red?
Yeah, like it was like something took whatever. So like when I think about the halving, like that's kind of like what I'm thinking about. It's like, yeah, the halving, it like causes the Bitcoin price to go up. Like that literally, if you look at Bitcoin's history, it has never broken the cycle of roughly 9 months to a year after the halving, the price of Bitcoin blows up. It has literally never broken that. That's not to say it's not going to break that in the future. I don't know. I have a feeling. Opti, what are your thoughts on something called the halving?
Well, first and foremost, we've been talking about it all last year about how
First and
Bitcoin.
foremost, bro, you're so fucking I gotta wear this fucking suit, dude. I'm slacking.
I
I
literally-
feel underdressed. You're using like fancy words and shit now. Like what the fuck is going? I'm gonna pull out a thesaurus, bro.
Dude, I haven't changed a thing, guys. I just put on a button-up shirt. Anyways, we've been talking about it all last year about how Bitcoin has crossed that Rubicon into mainstream consciousness. And, we started with, Charles, Joe Kernan, a few other people that are public facing, talking heads like ourselves. And they are Bitcoiners, and they came out as being Bitcoiners later, or Tucker and all them, they all understand the value proposition of Bitcoin. And we've been slowly but surely covering the fact that, wow, it's becoming very, very important to talk about Bitcoin, but like a very popular topic. And we're seeing the Bitcoin tickers on all the mainstream media. And we're seeing that more and more people are at the very least forced to talk about what we're doing. And it, on the one hand, it's absolutely awesome to see. And on the second, of course, we're going to see what we just saw right now, where people really don't know what they're talking about. They have to cover the news. And, for better or worse, Nico, I think it just means that we might have a job suit or not, and we will be able to continue our news show because we actually understand what we're talking about, and we can basically...
Okay. You've been challenged by
what
Rustin.
is it? What's Rustin saying? Bow tie? No, I can't do a bow tie, guys.
Yeah,
I'm
dude,
not a bow tie.
You gotta go old school Tucker Carlson, brother.
I'm not a bow tie kind of guy. When I was younger, maybe a bow tie. Anyways, we can do our show, and for better or worse, or rather intelligently or not, we will be fact checking everything they're saying, and we can use them as jumping off points to talk about what we know is to be the true signal going forward. And again, it's just absolutely awesome to see you. We saw Wall Street starting their ads. We're seeing every news anchor going to be talking about Bitcoin. And personally, I also believe that the halving is just the mining economics and Satoshi's brilliance of creating this cycle that does have a very meaningful supply shock on the Bitcoin price and the network itself. And again, also, we know the mining economics moving forward, and this is how Bitcoin miners stay efficient, they stay profitable if they are doing things correctly. And I also do believe that we will be seeing a mining cycle play out in the next couple of months. I don't think we have broken that. Of course, we only have a few data points on the Bitcoin charts. Is my audio, it's changing up on me?
Yeah, it's like sounding weird.
All right, maybe.
There we go. It's back now.
Yeah, restreams. Yeah, it's knocking me off. Anyways, I think we will be seeing the same mining economics play out. I think the halving cycle is still intact until further notice, until we have a meaningful amount of people holding Bitcoin and understanding why they hold Bitcoin. I don't think the halving cycle is going to change. I think we're still good to go. So it's going to be very interesting to see these talking heads besides ourselves talking about the halving and
dude, we gotta upgrade our game, bro. Like,
what do you think I'm doing?
I gotta wear a suit. We gotta get Sophie to like be like on the ground reporting. Like, Sophie, you're on the ground. At the
wait, Rustin gets it. We need a Simply Suit fund.
Oh man. Okay.
But yes, halving cycle is still intact, and it's going to be very interesting to see everyone wrap their heads around why the Bitcoin price is going up. And, they're going to not understand what is going on. And this is why you guys that are here today have that asymmetric knowledge and the understanding to live a better life and stack as many sats as possible while no one knows what is going on. Just absolutely love it.
100%. I also do want to give a very special shout out to the sponsor of Simply Bitcoin Originals, the Bitcoin Way. Take charge of your financial future. Your Bitcoin, your rules. Unlock your Bitcoin's full potential without traditional constraints and power your choices with our expertise in self-custody, where privacy and security are uncompromised. Risk-proof your holdings, the power of privacy. Bitcoin and self-custody. If you need help setting up a wallet, a node, they got your back. Inheritance planning, concierge service, individuals, businesses, whatever you need. If you have any doubts, if you're venturing into Bitcoin for the first time and you're like, how do I run a node? How do I take self-custody? The Bitcoin Way has your back. You can book a call with them today. Visit thebitcoinway.com. All right, everybody, let's get to the news. We have a lot to talk about. Let's check it out.
The Daily News.
I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Foundation Devices. It's self-custody done right. They built a premium grade hardware wallet called Passport right here in the US. It's fully open source and verifiable. It's the most intuitive Bitcoin wallet designed with a UX reminiscent of a simple feature phone. So you will know how to navigate it and use it the moment you pick it up. Get your Bitcoin off exchanges and into your own hands in just a few minutes. Experience the peace of mind that comes with taking ownership of your own keys. After a massive sellout during Bitcoin Miami 2023, the Passport is back in stock at foundationdevices.com. Bitcoin only, open source verifiable, completely air-gapped security model, gorgeous design craft, premium grade materials. If you're thinking about getting your Bitcoin off exchanges, this is the one for you. Check out the Passport link in the show notes below to learn more.
All right, guys, I made it. No, I did not. But now I'm going to. And 1, 2, 3, bada bing, bada boom. Look, I made it super easy for you guys. You can scan the QR code on your screen right now. It will take you directly to the Foundation Devices website, where you can get yourself a Passport hardware wallet, Bitcoin self-custody done right. Remember, guys, not your keys, not your cheese. You definitely want to get yourself a hardware wallet. You want to put your Bitcoin in cold storage for a rainy day, and it is going up forever, Laura. So you definitely want to secure your Bitcoin properly, and we recommend our sponsor, the Passport hardware wallet by Foundation Devices. Anyways, so this is the news for today. New U.S. tax reporting rule requires an IRS report for every $10,000 transaction. Quote, the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, which passed Congress in November of 2021, including a provision amending the tax code to require anyone who receives $10,000 or more in cryptocurrency in the course of their trade or business to make a report to the IRS. It goes on to say, here is like the legalese. I know there's like the legalese. I mean, I guess you can call this legalese. But anyway, so here's the actual thing. It says the effective date, the amendments made by this section shall apply to returns required to be filled and statements required to be furnished after December 31st, 2023. It goes on to say, since January 1st, 2024, individuals who receive $10,000 or more in Bitcoin have an obligation to report the transaction, including names, addresses, social security numbers, to the IRS within 15 days under threat of a felony charge. The report must include, among other things, the name, address, and social security number of the person from whom the funds were received, the amount received, and the date and nature of the transaction. If you don't file a report within 15 days of receiving the transaction, you can be found guilty of a felony offense. It goes on to say, in June of 2022, Coin Center filed a suit against the Treasury Department challenging the constitutionality of the new law, but that case is still in the courts. My opinion, I think this is against the Fourth Amendment. What is the Fourth Amendment? The Fourth Amendment is no unreasonable search and seizure. This sounds really fucking unreasonable, in my opinion. Excuse my language. It's no doubt only a matter of time before someone either buys a table sponsorship for our annual dinner or makes a contribution of $10,000 or more to Coin Center in cryptocurrency, and then we'll be on the hook for complying. We'll have to figure out a way to do so. The really tricky nature of this requirement will become clear when someone makes such a donation, but does so anonymously by simply sending us Bitcoin or Ether to our public address. Who could we possibly list as the sender in that case? These are all questions the Treasury Department has yet to answer. So, ladies and gentlemen, what you're watching here, what I just read to you, is a clash of the old world with the new world. If you open a bank account, that bank account is tied to your name. It is tied to your address. It is tied to your social security number in the United States. You can now download a Bitcoin wallet and you can receive tens, millions, billions, trillions of dollars to that Bitcoin wallet. And you don't need to put in a name. You don't need to put in an address. You don't need to put in who you are, right? There's tremendous benefits to that system because the system that we live now is a system of exclusion. If you happen to be born in a certain country, you are not entitled to open a bank account in the US. Bitcoin is a system of inclusion. Anybody could download a Bitcoin wallet. And what they're doing here, this is not coming from a place of, okay, we got to make sure what the fuck is going on. This is coming from a place of control. And you have to understand, and we read you this book all the time and the passages in this book all the time, because they predicted this so well. And I'm just going to read you these passages because I think it's very fitting to what is going on. Mind you, this book was written in 1999. I highly recommend it. I think we talk a lot about it on this show. And what is happening with these types of laws is an example of this. I think it is becoming increasingly unattractive to hold certain types of citizenships. And I think if you have countries like El Salvador, if you have countries, maybe other countries are going to follow suit, making Bitcoin legal tender, or in Argentina, where I think the newly elected libertarian president is talking about essentially saying, like, look, there is no legal tender laws. People are allowed to, pick and choose the money they want to use. I think what that's going to do is it's going to create competition. And I think that the more governments try to, squeeze and try to control, I think that is going to backfire in the long run. So I do want to read these two passages. So first one says, new technologies will allow the holders of wealth to bypass the national monopolies that have issued and regulated money in the modern period. Their importance for controlling the world's wealth will be transcended by mathematical algorithms that have no physical existence. In the new millennium, cyber money controlled by private markets will supersede fiat money issued by governments. Only the poor will be victims of inflation and ensuing collapses into deflation that are consequences of the artificial leverage which fiat money injects into the economy. Lacking their accustomed scope to tax and inflate, governments even in traditionally civil countries will turn nasty. As income taxes becomes uncollectible, older and more arbitrary methods of extraction will resurface. The ultimate form of withholding tax, the de facto or even overt hostage taking, will be introduced by governments desperate to prevent wealth from escaping beyond their reach. Unlucky individuals will find themselves singled out and held to ransom in an almost medieval fashion. Businesses that offer services that facilitate the realization of autonomy by individuals will be subject to infiltration, sabotage, and disruption. Arbitrary forfeiture of property, already commonplace in the United States, where it occurs 5,000 times a week. Mind you, this was written in the 90s. I'm sure it's a lot worse by now. Will become even more pervasive. Governments will violate human rights, censor the free flow of information, sabotage useful technologies, and worse. So what I'm calling here, ladies and gentlemen, is I think we are living through the death of the nation state. And it's not that Bitcoin kills the nation state. It's that Bitcoin makes the nation state irrelevant. I think that is what is happening before our eyes. And I think, like a wounded beast trapped into a corner, I think you're witnessing the death throes. You're witnessing it fight back for its very survival. And the way that you do that is you control money, right? But I just want to give a little bit of context. Governments have had this privilege for a very long time. And they've been granted this privilege. And they've abused this privilege to spend money they don't have, to fund forever wars, to fund social programs you might not necessarily agree with, to boost certain politicians to, quote unquote, get more political support by promising free shit. So I think really what we're witnessing here is Bitcoin is fundamentally a threat to that system. Someone put it in the chat, Bitcoin is the exit, and they know this. And I think what they're trying to do is that they're trying to like close the exits. Now, is this law enforceable on a large scale if everyone is using Bitcoin? I don't think so. And that explains why Senator Elizabeth Warren is going after self-custody altogether, because that is the thing. That is the thing that scares the living shit out of them. That there isn't an account that they can't just tap on an intermediary and say, freeze that account, censor that account. The fact that you can hold your own private keys and then you can send that Bitcoin anywhere around the world. Tonebase has the conference unconfiscatable. I think it's very fitting. Imagine if the majority of your society did that. If 10, 15, 20% of the society did that. That would change the balance of power, ladies and gentlemen. That would reshuffle everything, right? Very tough conversations would need to be had. The very fabric of society would change. The moral code of society would change. There are so many implications of Bitcoin becoming money, of a non-state money becoming money. And I think this is just another example of the state trying to use Christine Lagarde's own words, really close that escape valve. You know, sending $10,000 worth of Bitcoin right now in the US, if you don't report who you're sending it to, what their name is, what their address is, what their social security is, that is now a felony. That is now a crime. That's pretty crazy, especially if you know the history of the Bank Secrecy Act. Like I said, it was passed in the 70s. If you adjusted for inflation, it was like 70, 80K worth of purchasing power. That number stayed exactly the same. What changed? Tell me what changed. I have no idea, right? Of course, what they will say is terrorism, crime. I just want to remind everybody, though, that according to Cynthia Lummis's chart that she posted on her Twitter, 99% of illicit financial activity happens within the traditional financial system. It does not happen in Bitcoin. Bitcoin is an open public ledger. So they don't have a response to this. They don't have a response to inflation. They're ignoring Coin Center. Why are they ignoring all these people? Because they don't give a flying fuck about what is true, what is right, what the effectiveness of these laws are. What this is really about, what it fundamentally comes down to, and this is something that I remember I had this like eureka moment like 4 or 5 years ago, and I was like, what? I was talking to my dad at the time, and I said, Dad, this really boils down to power fundamentally. Like, this is what it is. And Opti's looking like fucking Johnny Depp right now. He's unbuttoning the shirt. There's a crucifix.
Everyone wanted it in the chat. I'm
like,
playing
Jesus, the swag is like out of control. Like,
let's ignore the fact
you're inspiring me. Let's make Opti full. Opti, what are your thoughts on this, bro?
Okay. I don't mean to interrupt your rant here, but great coverage, Nico. And I mean, you know, I'm not a constitutional scholar here, but I think it would be very obvious to say that this is against the Fourth Amendment, you know, unreasonable search and seizures by the government, you know, whatever happened to innocent until proven guilty. But my question is, hasn't these like rules been instated for like a long time? I think though now the fact that you're gonna have to give or get people social security, their address, their legal name, like they are just ramping up the tyranny. And again, it's like you said, Nico, we are seeing the demise of the nation state, of the federal government. And Like that's the point of a bearer instrument in the first place, guys. Like that is why you use a bearer instrument like cash, like Bitcoin, is because you don't have to know who you're interacting with. You don't have to trust the person you are talking to. If they give you, you know, the dollar, if your node verifies the Bitcoin transaction, that's all you need to know. Like I don't need to know who I'm sending money to. All they need to know is that I'm actually sending them Bitcoin and I'm receiving whatever benefits or products or services that I'm paying for. Like that is the point of a bearer instrument. You know, you stop this. You know, you're gonna get us copyrighted, dude. So you don't have to know people's addresses, their social security, their home address when you interact with cash. Why is Bitcoin any different? Again, it's what Nico said, mentioning the sovereign individual. What we're seeing is that the tyrants out there, as Elaine was saying in the chat, the thieves out there are doing their best to accelerate the theft before the inevitable end of this. And of course, this could be a decade, it could be 2 decades, but that acceleration of them trying to overstep on our rights and our liberties and extract as much value from us is becoming more and more obvious if you are paying attention. And like, since when does the common man need to do the IRS's job and become tax collectors? Like this is ridiculous. What's the federal government paying those 86,000 IRS army to do if we have to do their job for them? Like we don't get to pay people to do our job for us. Like this is ridiculous. It's absolutely insane. And the fact that the tyrants are working overtime to expand its dystopia and threatening us with felonies if we're not, if like your grandma and mom and everyone's not a tax collector, it's absolutely ridiculous. And then on the next point, it's like, you know, Bitcoin does not care about the fiat price. Honey Badger don't care. Like what? It's just going to slowly but surely, incrementally become less and less of a threshold until like every transaction has to get basically KYC'd on the Bitcoin network. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like what? I don't even know what $10,000 in Bitcoin is right now. It's what, like I don't know. It's like 20 million sats or something. And that's just going to slowly but surely get lower and lower and lower until everything gets surveilled on the Bitcoin network. Like it's absolutely ridiculous. And also it's completely unenforceable as far as I'm concerned. And then as John said in our chat, our editor, he's like, this just goes to show the importance of UTXO management right now. The mempools are starting to clear out. And, you know, like, hey, make sure your UTXOs are hygienic right now because you may not want to dox all your holdings and like even if you're sending yourself
supposedly we're talking
allegedly hypothetically theoretically
right now. Okay?
Exactly.
These are all hypothetically
speaking. And then also what, like if I send myself a $10,000 transaction, I'm going to have to think on myself. Like what's going on here? I don't even think they thought this through.
I think I don't think they care. I just
obviously
think that this is the type of thing where it's like I don't think that it's enforceable, like logistically enforceable on a global scale. I think
without a doubt.
I think that what they're gonna do is they're gonna make examples of certain people that don't follow this law, right?
No, definitely. And guys, so I don't mean to cut you off, but you reminded me, guys, go read Beautyon's Medium, Conway's Game of Life. And it's going to break down exactly what Nico's saying right now.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, these are some really crazy times, ladies and gentlemen. But this is the separation of money and state. Hopefully, it's a lot less bloody than the separation of church and state because that sucked. But I mean, these are very tumultuous times. You are witnessing the reorganization of human society because of new technologies. This is, in my opinion, we are entering into a new enlightenment. I think we are witnessing it, and I think this is part of the process. And I'll tell you this: I don't think things haven't even gotten ramped up yet. Like I think, like, you know, once you start getting like true Bitcoin adoption and people are just opting out of banks, they're just opting out of the systems that the governments can control. I think, like I said, I mean, sovereign individual said it, like governments are going to turn nasty. I really believe that because they're just incentivized to. Anyways, Let's get to the culture. We have a lot to talk about. Let's check it out.
The Daily Culture.
Brought to you by SwanBitcoin.com. Swan is the best way to build your Bitcoin stack with automated Bitcoin savings plans and instant purchases, serving clients of any size from $10 to $10 million. We love Swan because they incentivize self-custody and dollar cost averaging. What are you waiting for? Visit SwanBitcoin.com today.
All right, guys. So apparently Nico's house is burning down real quick and he's checking in, but I need Nico for this bit. So it's kind of fitting. We were supposed to have a guest today and I guess maybe there's some miscommunication and it happens all the time. And so sometimes we have to kind of pivot and give you guys some value on the show as much as possible. And I thought, what better way than to pick Nico's brain on multisig. I would say, I hate using the word guru, but Nico in low key is a master in multisig. And I even ask him these questions all the time behind the scenes. And I figured what better value to give you than just asking Nico some very simple multi-sig setups so that, you know, maybe high level concepts on this. And then really it's super fitting considering what we just covered. You might want to just consider it. You know, I'm kind of a password maxi myself, but I've been thinking, hey, maybe we need to cover more intricate ways to secure your Bitcoin, considering things are getting very crazy. So Nico, maybe high level view for those that don't know, what is a multi-sig setup?
Yeah, so I just want to warn everybody, I'm not a technical guy, but I am a conceptual guy. So I will explain you the concepts of what this is, and I understand how it works very, very well. But I might butcher some of the definitions and some of the technicalities. So I'm just giving you guys that heads up. So multi-sig is essentially, you know, what a normal Bitcoin address, when you're getting into Bitcoin, you're most likely using a single sig address, which basically means that, you know, you have this address, you have this UTXO. If you have the private key, you can spend that Bitcoin, right? What a multi-sig is essentially you need multiple keys in order to spend that Bitcoin. And this could vary, right? The most popular one, the one I'm a fan of, is a 2 of 3. And essentially what that means is that you need 2 of the 3 keys to spend that Bitcoin, right? So think of it like a safety deposit box at a bank. If you go to a bank, you get a safety deposit box. The bank holds a key and you hold a key, right? How do you open that box? You need both keys to open the box. So multi-sig is a very, very similar concept. And it protects you in a way. Why does it protect you? Because the infamous $5 wrench attack. So people think it's like a hacker is going to come into my Bitcoin and get my Bitcoin. No. Someone's going to show up to your house with a gun or with a $5 wrench, and they're going to be like, give me your Bitcoin. And the thing is, with the single sig, you're going to give it to them. So with the multi-sig, what you can do is you can geographically separate your seeds, right? So you can put one of your seeds in your home. You could put one of your seeds in your office. You can put one of your seeds at your friend's house. With one seed, they can't spend that Bitcoin, right? You need signatures from multiple seeds. And what that does is someone shows up to your house with a wrench and they're like, give me your Bitcoin. You physically couldn't give it to them even if you wanted to, because the other seed that's required to spend that Bitcoin is at another physical location. So that hypothetical attacker would literally need to take you from point A to point B, all while kind of holding you hostage, right? So what it does is it increases the complexity for someone to successfully attack you and steal your Bitcoin. And now that, you know, geopolitics is getting involved, there's even a level above that. You could put different seeds in different geographical locations, right? So it's like, yeah, the US is having these laws, but another country could have other favorable laws. And let's say, hey, we're going to seize your seed in the US. It's like, okay, dude, you can have it. And another thing that you can do as well is that you can be kind of smart about it, right? So you can leave, a certain seed in a different location. You could travel with the seed, right? So if you're traveling, and let's say, you know, they get you, you know, they stop you and they're like, well, okay, we have your seed and your Bitcoin, we're gonna seize it, and you'll be like, Okay, but you just have one. You can't do anything with just one, right? You need both of them. And the other one is waiting for me at the location I'm traveling to. So all of this, what it does is it moves the security model in your favor. It buys you time. It gives you options to think about in your head how to properly secure your Bitcoin without the fear of, a physical attack. And this rabbit hole is really deep. The 2 of 3 is very popular. There's also 3 of 5. So it requires 3 signatures instead of 2. But there's 5 separate keys, right? And if you guys are uncomfortable setting this up yourself, you can do this, by the way, on Sparrow. You can do this on Electrum. I fucking love Electrum. I know a lot of people give me shit for that, but you know what? That's what I got accustomed to. And the awesome part about that is that if you set it up, you can set up on those wallets. You can do it yourself. But it is a little bit it's a little bit difficult right now. It's a little bit technical. I'm not gonna lie, but there's awesome companies that actually offer collaborative custody multi-sig, and essentially what that means. And I'll name some of those companies. So first one is Casa. They have an incredible UI, and they offer 2 of 3 and 3 of 5. And the setup is they keep one of the keys in case you lose your keys, right? So let's say, holy cow, I lost one of my keys. That Casa is always going to have a backup. And you would say, okay, but Nico, hold on a second. They can spend my Bitcoin. No, they can't, because they only have one of the keys. Unchained also offers a 2 of 3. Swan just recently announced their multi-sig collaborative custody product called Swan Vault, also 2 of 3. You can use Foundation Passport, and you could set it up with a multi-signature wallet. Multi-sig isn't for everyone, especially if you're getting into the space. Remember, in security, you have to think of 2 opposing things. First of all is obviously the risk of a physical attack. But on the opposite side of the spectrum, if you set up a security model that is above your technical know-how, you can potentially be shooting yourself in the foot and potentially be putting yourself in a situation where you lose access to your Bitcoin because you made it overly complex. So what I would recommend to people, depending on their technical know-how, how long they've been, is how long they've been in the industry, how they're they're good to it, is I would recommend using single sig first, then upgrading to single sig with a 25th word. So you have a 24-word seed phrase, and then you add your own 25th word, and then memorize that. Don't write it down. Then I think the next evolution to that is a collaborative custody company. So like using something like Casa, using something like Swan Vault, using something like Unchained Capital, using something like Nunchuck. Nunchuck is fabulous. They're really great too. And then that kind of that holds your hands through creating a multi-sig wallet and recovering it. And the UI is very easy to use and it's very comfortable. But you also have to keep in mind that there's a downside to collaborative custody. What is that downside? That downside is you're doxing your balance, right? They're going to have access to your pub files. They know what your balance is. And then in the unlikely event that they make Bitcoin illegal or they pass a law where like we can't sign a multi-sig transaction unless we know your identity and et cetera, you also could potentially put yourself at risk where the collaborative custody company can't sign for your transaction. Now, that doesn't affect you if you still have access to the amount of keys that are required, but that is also something to potentially consider. There's always trade-offs, right? There's always trade-offs. None of this is perfect. If this is too complicated for you, check out the Bitcoin Way, one of our sponsors. They will literally hold you through this entire process. We could potentially maybe think about doing this and just helping people out. Maybe in the future, I don't know. That depends. But yeah, it's a very deep rabbit hole with a ton of trade-offs. I think if you hold a significant amount of wealth in Bitcoin, I highly recommend using multi-sig. Just understand that you're increasing the level of complexity of your self-custody. And if you don't fully understand what that means, you can get yourself in a very, very, very bad situation where you lose access to your Bitcoin. And thank you, because that makes us all wealthier. But we don't want you to do that. That would be a really bad experience for you and your family, right? So yeah, just keep that in mind. There's so many opportunities in so many ways to take self-custody properly and to do it securely. And I think multi-sig is the future of people taking custody of their wealth. I really do, just because of the amount of options that it gives you to protect yourself in certain situations. I know that was a really long ramble.
It was great. It was great.
It.
I think that was a great high level overview for people that don't even know what multi-sig is. And we had a great comment here by Nihilist Fields. He says, don't forget to mention, and this is about the complexity of multi-sig and what you got to even think about. So don't forget to mention that multi-sig requires backup of the actual multi-sig wallet XPubs on top of the single signatures of each of the signing devices. So guys, you are increasing the complexity with multi-sig, and there is a lot that could realistically go wrong if you don't know what you're doing. Hence why it's very important to educate yourself on the actual process. I'm sure you could watch YouTube videos on Sessions channel that will show you how to do it. But if you're really unsure about how to do this, then usually, like someone said earlier, it took me a long time to get to a multi-sig setup. It's probably best that you keep it simple as possible. Don't complicate it. We know, especially throughout the history of Bitcoin, that more Bitcoin has probably been lost because of complicated setups than people robbing you. So yes, this is something to keep in mind. And as we move forward, it might even become more prescient. But make sure you do the research behind the scenes. Like Nico just gave the high level overview, and I thought it was very fitting considering what we're going to be talking about today. Just kind of showing that the impossibility of any kind of regulation that we're seeing to really, take your Bitcoin, as the meme is, unconfiscatable. Like, this is why Bitcoin is superior to gold. This is why Bitcoin is better than cash. Like, these are the reasons that Bitcoin is the money of the future. And it's amazing how it's amazing how deep the rabbit hole goes, and just how little people know when they meet Bitcoin. Like, there's still people that hang out with us that this week were telling us, like, how do I take my Bitcoin off exchanges? And so this is us just kind of exposing you to these ideas. Throughout the year, I will have more technical breakdowns about taking Bitcoin into cold storage. Someone was asking, how do I roll my own seed phrase? I will cover this probably next week. And then maybe we can get Sessions to come on and do like a real live demo of how to do this. So, like, guys, there is ways to protect your Bitcoin. It's just right now we're just exposing you to these ideas because, as you can see, things are getting frothy. We want to plant some seeds. And then also, I kind of had to pivot right before the show. And Nico's I would say a guru in regards to multi-sig. He's helped so many people do multi-sig, and he's always harping on the idea of multi-sig. So guys, I hope we just gave you a high level overview, maybe thinking about things you haven't thought about yet. Don't complicate it, guys. Make sure you do some research because, like Nico said, we do not want you guys losing your Bitcoin, but we know that you need to take your Bitcoin into cold storage and secure that Bitcoin correctly.
Guys, understand this. Like, there is, this is Andreas, by the way, like one of the people that originally orange pilled me. You need to find a balance between security and your technical know-how and be right in between that, because both sides can burn the F out of you. And I think that a lot of people overestimate. By the way, I learned this the hard way. So like I've lost Bitcoin. I've spent hours and hours and hours just setting up multi-sigs and then getting them connected with the different hardware wallets. So like, it's like, dude, like, guys, it's right now, if you want to do it on your own, it's not, how do I say this, Opti? It's not straightforward. Like, it's not like, it's like, holy shit, this is really technical. I encourage you, if you guys want to go down that rabbit hole and learn it, like it becomes obvious after the fact. You're like, this is so freaking cool, and actually it's pretty easy. But like it's not intuitive.
It's not trivial.
It's not intuitive, right? So but again, there's so many awesome Bitcoin companies that are making like the concierge service for Passport
or
our
Nunchuck.
sponsor, the Bitcoin Way. Nunchuck is great. Casa is great. Swan Vault, you know, they're doing a great job over there. I know I'm missing another one. Unchained, great kind of collaborative custody multi-sig. And it's so crazy because they cover all the complexity behind the UI. So you're getting the benefits of multi-sig without giving up your custody of your Bitcoin. And you're also having like a backup. So like oh, I lost my key. You got the backup of that company, right? Or you can go full hardcore, like fuck that. I'm gonna set up a 3 of 5 multi-sig, and I'm literally gonna bury these seeds on different continents all around the fucking world, and be like super hardcore, you know, kind of go down that route. I do not recommend that whatsoever, unless you know exactly what the F you're doing. I've had many scares, and it is not, like I said, is not intuitive at the moment. I'm sure that it will change in the future.
Yeah, and let's not scare you away from it.
Hold on.
Do the research.
I do want to give a very special shout out to our boy BTC Sessions. If you guys want to see the best tutorials in the game covering how to set up a multi-sig, because this is very surface level. We should actually have Sessions on next week to talk about this.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
It's a great topic. Check out his channel and check out his multi-sig tutorials. They're the best in the game. And he'll show you how to do that. But if you're just getting into Bitcoin, start with a single sig, then
password,
25th word. Then you're going to inevitably come to a conclusion that you're going to say, wait a second. Like, what if someone attacks me? Like, you know, should I really put all this trust into one single thing? Or should I spread out that trust over different things, right? So you inevitably ask these questions the more time you spend in Bitcoin. Anyways, I really enjoyed today's show. Guys, I hope you enjoyed Simply Bitcoin this week.
Wait, Nico.
Oh, wait, we're doing the meme review. It's Friday. All right, here we go. Let's jump into it. Booyakasha.
The Daily Meme Review.
Sheesh, Nico. Trying to avoid the meme review. I see you, bro. Anyways, guys, you guys know the deal. It is Friday. Kind of like to let the weekend off on a you know, jovial, funny vibe. And actually, this is making my job way easier, guys, because now I have so many memes to pick through for the meme review on Friday. Bunch of great memes. I think it's almost more fitting that we do this on a Friday because it kind of recaps everything that we've seen throughout the week. First and foremost, I got to bring up the legend here, but almost forgot. Tweets are the bullets, memes are the artillery. We are in an information war, boys and girls. So make sure you are ridiculing the corporate press, ridiculing the unproductive class, getting the calls of actions to your friends and family out there, and then, of course, making some funnies so your friends' heads stay in the game. And on that note, January 3rd, Bitcoin's birthday, Tour de Meester dropped this great tweet or meme, and it's just a picture of How Finney and a quote from How Finney, and it kind of does lend into what we were talking about in the news, is How Finney goes, for Bitcoin to succeed and become secure, Bitcoins must become vastly more expensive. Number goes up. There's only ever going to be 21 million Bitcoin. Infinity divided by 21 million. It's going up forever, Laura. We have the memes constantly that we always talk about. And then, of course, you guys know how valuable Bitcoin is. Okay, next one. Shouts out to Crypto Graffiti. For some reason, I don't know, I saw some Instagram videos about people doing crazy Costco meals, and I don't know, this one just hit me. Crypto Graffiti goes, none of you are bullish enough, and you guys can see here the Costco hot dog, and it goes, all beef hot dog or Polish, and the soda with refill for 1 sat, guys. It's what, $1.50 right now still? It's going to 1 sat. Okay, next one. Shouts out to Amanda Fabiano, and we've been joking about this all week, about the fact of the Kramer, inverse Kramer on Bitcoin. The beginning of the week, we covered him on the news, and he was bullish on Bitcoin, and then the Bitcoin price dumped. Who could have saw that one coming? Anyways, we got Lizzie Warren here speaking to Gary Gensler's ear and whispering, it's not working. Bring in Jim Cramer. Always undefeated. Inverse Kramer is never wrong. We should have saw this one coming, Miko. Actually, I think we did. Anyways, as we've been covering, and I think we covered this in the beginning of the week, 80 IQ, left side of the bell curve, right side of the bell curve, 3 green dots, 1 red. The latest meme, I cover this all the time. We try to keep this as simple as possible. Shouts out to American Hodl. He's been going hard on this meme. Anyways, we got Homer Simpson looking at a note here, and it's 3 green dots and 1 red. And of course, you guys know the cycle. We covered this. 3 green years in Bitcoin cycles, and then 1 red year. We just passed the 1 red, 1 green. Now we're moving, hopefully, into the 2nd green year, moving into the 3rd year for 2024, and you are right here on the 2nd green dot, guys. Simplify this as much as possible. And then the next one, American Hodl, still 3 green, 1 red. This is the meme, guys. And he goes, lame-o. Okay, this one wins. And we got 3 GGs in the green man suit, and then Craig Wright, who is not Satoshi, in his red shirt on stage. 3 green, 1 red. This is the way, boys and girls. And this next one, Masir, he goes, we've been covering the ETF. We've been covering it all year. Everyone's tired about ETFs and macro. Yeah, we get it. But Masir goes, it doesn't matter how the price reacts to a Bitcoin ETF. What matters is that an army of TradFi financial advisors will now begin promoting Bitcoin to millions of clients in perpetuity. And we got left side of the bell curve, little old Opti and Nico over here. ETF good. And then we have the midwits in the middle. Goes, actually, it's a little more nuanced. And then the right side of the bell curve, ETF is good, guys. This is good for Bitcoin. Obviously, we know that they are kind of angling in a way to throttle Bitcoin adoption, to try to capture Bitcoin, as Nico's been calling it for a while. Spot Bitcoin ETF exposure is captured Bitcoin. And this next one, apparently I'm making up words on the show and I don't know how to speak. Hashtag Opti can't speak. Hashtag Nico can't speak. And we got Copper, and he goes, Opti after today's show. And we have Johnny Depp in Pirates of the Caribbean running away from all the savages. And he goes, Opti front ranning the suits. Wait, which is ironic because I'm in a suit today. Well, not really a suit, but you already know the deal. Opti front ranning. Yes, I guess that's the proper way to say it. Anyways, guys, drop your meme review score in the chat as we cover ours live. I'm actually unprepared for this. All right, I'm gonna give it 2 used water glasses with electrolyte residue in them, as you can tell.
This an energy protection, energy saver chip, anti-radiation sticker, Japanese technology.
I think you've done that, bro. You're lacking.
No, I'm not. I never did that.
All right, guys. Anyways, drop your meme review score in the chat.
Let us know what your meme score is in the chat.
And also, guys, on that note, since we're asking you to, dude, I'm legitimately sweating over here, guys. No more suits. Let us know what you guys want us to cover on the show. Like, obviously, we do what we think is best and provide as much value, but also, we're free market maxis. Let us know what you guys like, what you guys want to cover. I will do my best to either bring on guests that can help us cover this, or I'll do my best to do it myself. Anyways, worst job interview ever. All right. No. Before we do that, though, guys, you already know the deal. We are not wearing the Simply Bitcoin merch, but it really helps us, especially consider that Nico's unemployed now.
More than ever. If you guys want to support the show,
and there is a sale going on right now.
It is going to be, guys, like in all seriousness, it is going to be a rough probably like 6 months or so. So it really, really helps us if you guys enjoy our content. You know,
There is a sale on shirts currently. There's 21.
Check out our merch, and then also,
there's less than 21. Shouts out to you guys supporting us.
And you know, and drop a like. That really, really helps. With
Share, like,
well. Share,
all that
like,
good
and
stuff.
all that good
All right.
Anyways,
There's some meme review scores.
All right, let's get to them. I forgot how to do this. Oh, the music is back. Oh my god, this is fun. Okay. First one by Keith. Meme review each day, even if it is only one or two. It's the show's hallmark. Oh god.
Sheesh.
And also announcement from Wine. Oops, I just lowered the price of the hoodies.
Wow.
So, okay, my mic is too low. That's weird. Like, my gain is very high. Opti, am I coming in low?
A little bit.
You're
A little
muted.
bit.
You're muted.
A little bit.
Hello. Hello. Okay. Nihilus Fields making the daily meme reviews great again. That's hilarious. Elaine, Opti suit memes incoming for next week. Start memeing. Roman, meme score green, red. Green, red. Green, red. 21 Spiegel Stats Stieg. 21 breaking ETFs delayed until March.
Oh, really? Well,
I mean, that's not surprising. I mean, and then they're going to be delayed in March. Okay. One, do you guys not understand what is happening? I covered it on today's episode. One light linen suit for Opti. If the if that's true, the ETFs is not approved. It's not surprising at all. They're not incentivized to approve it. I mean, like, this is fucking crazy. Okay. Anyway.
Also, XX, I am a huge linen maxi.
Phil Russo, unbutton Nico, unbutton
5 unbuttons.
Wow, Opti's just pulling out. Christopher Alamo, Opti dressed. Oh, okay, Chris. Opti dressed up nice to hit bar right after this and spend some sats.
It's not even 5 o'clock anywhere. All right, let's see. Do we have
next one?
Okay, yeah. All right, we have a good one.
All right,
we have a great one on Rumble. It goes Don Bali. I probably butchered your last name. He goes, meme score, Opti can't even afford a suit. This is true. I don't even own a suit, guys.
We are changing for the sake of selling sponsorships. Opti is changing his name to Opti Depp. That is his new name.
Guys, I'm sweating so much right now.
There we go. Oh my god.
I don't want to unclose because then the meme's going even more.
Taking off his jacket. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed the show, you know what to do. Smash that like button. Consider subscribing if you feel like we provided you value. But the number one thing you can do to help the peaceful Bitcoin revolution is share Bitcoin content. Share all Bitcoin content. Don't be exclusive. Be inclusive. Remember, it's not left versus right. It's green versus orange. Love you all. Guys, have an amazing weekend. And we'll be back on Monday, full force, for another episode of Simply Bitcoin Live. Peace out, y'all.